Hello everyone! Are you looking for a Metroidvania you can actually finish in one day? Sometimes you just want that quick dose of exploration, upgrades, and boss fights without sinking 30 hours into it. So here are some short but awesome Metroidvania games you can beat in a single sitting. Perfect for a weekend or a chill afternoon of adventure. Well, let's get into the list. Gato is one of those indie Metroidvania games that might have slipped under your radar, but trust me, it's worth checking out. What makes Gato special is how it tells its story without a single word. There's no dialogue, no voice acting, just expressive animations, subtle gestures, and music that hits you right in the heart. Every emotion is told through movement and sound, and it works beautifully. And when it comes to combat, Gato does something unique. Every fight is a boss fight. Each battle has its own rhythm and strategy, and every victory feels earned. The duels are fast, emotional, and often heartbreaking, especially when you realize what's truly at stake. Sheepo is a unique indie Metroidvania that caught my attention right away. The game feels like a softer, more relaxing take on the genre, kind of like a friendly alternative to something like Metroid Dread. It's easy, minimalist, and has a gentle tone. In Sheepo, there's no fighting at all. Instead, your goal is to preserve different species by collecting eggs from bosses. It's a peaceful concept that fits the game's calm vibe. But that doesn't mean there's no challenge. You'll still face tricky platforming sections, puzzles, and hazards like spikes and saws. That's a really bold idea, and it's exciting to try out. Trash Quest is a small but fun Metroidvania that feels like a mix between a platformer and a speedrun challenge. It's made by Francis Vase and published by Red Deer Games, and even though it's short, it captures the spirit of the genre really well. You play as a cute little raccoon, a trash panda, who sneaks onto a space station called Deliverance. The game nails one of the most important things in any Metroidvania: movement. The controls are super tight, and the traversal abilities feel great to use. What's cool is how they're all tied to a stamina system, so you can chain moves together in creative ways. Jump, dash, hover, jump again. It's smooth and satisfying. Xanthiom Zero is a solid sci-fi Metroidvania and the second game from the developer of Sidescape. The game takes place in a futuristic world with maze-like levels full of secrets and clever exploration. The map design is one of its strongest points. It feels tight, interconnected, and rewarding to explore. What's also interesting is how well the game still plays even without certain upgrades. Some players mentioned going through large parts of the game without getting the double jump, and it still worked. That just shows how well the level design is built around freedom and creativity. Kunai is a fast-paced Metroidvania set in a world where humans have almost gone extinct and robots now rule the ruins. You play as Tabby, a little ninja robot with a tablet for a face. Yes, a literal tablet screen that shows his emotions. Early in the game, Tabby finds a pair of kunai which act like grappling hooks. You can swing through the air like Spider-Man, climbing and zipping across areas with ease. This one mechanic makes kunai feel fresh and exciting right from the start. In addition to that, you'll also get a katana early on, which lets you slash enemies, regain health, and even deflect bullets. It's stylish, fast, and always satisfying. Astronite is a tough but charming throwback to old-school gaming. It looks like something straight out of the ZX Spectrum era, with its simple black and white 1-bit art style and retro vibes. You'll even see floppy disks as save icons and old telephones as teleporters. It's pure nostalgia with a modern twist. The visuals might be simple, but they're clean and stylish, and the game runs perfectly smooth. The atmosphere is surprisingly strong for such minimal art. Dark caves, eerie silence, and moments of calm between intense battles all build a mysterious mood. If you love Metroidvania games but don't always have time for those massive hours-long adventures, then this one might be perfect for you. Super Skelemania is a short and simple Metroidvania you can finish in about an hour. The developer calls it a single-sitting Metroidvania, and that's exactly what it is. The game starts with a funny little intro. Something falls from the sky, and suddenly you wake up as a skeleton on a strange planet. There's not much story here. The goal is simple. Explore underground areas, find upgrades, beat a boss or two, and escape the planet. Teslagrad is one of those titles that fits perfectly on it. It's a 2D puzzle Metroidvania with beautiful hand-drawn visuals, clever mechanics, and a mysterious story that pulls you in right away. Teslagrad mixes platforming with smart puzzle design. Early on, you get a special glove that lets you control magnetic energy. Blue and red forces that attract or repel each other. It sounds confusing at first, but it quickly becomes a fun and satisfying system once you get the hang of it. It's a short game. You can probably finish it in just a few hours, but there are collectible scrolls that add some replay value and reveal more of the story for those who love exploring. Four heroes walk into a Metroidvania. That's basically the setup for Moonlight Pulse. You start off playing as Silex, a strong and confident warrior, but as you explore, you'll meet and unlock 3 more agents, each with their own unique abilities for combat and movement. Switching between characters isn't just for fighting, it also changes the dialogue you get from NPCs. Talk to someone as a different character, and you might get a totally new reaction. It's a small touch, but it makes the world feel alive. In the end, Moonlight Pulse is a creative and heartfelt Metroidvania. Escape from Tethys is a retro-style Metroidvania that feels like it's obsessed with being, well, a Metroidvania. It follows the classic formula perfectly, maybe a little too perfectly. You play as a scientist trapped on the hostile planet Tethys. Your goal is simple: escape. When Escape from Tethys is at its best, it captures that same sense of tension and mystery that makes Metroidvanias great. The thrill of surviving on low health, or the excitement of finding a new ability that changes how you explore. The game takes around 3 hours to finish. Despite the clunky platforming, uneven difficulty, and confusing exploration, it still manages to be a decent experience. It's a solid game at its core, just one that plays things a little too safe. Yoku's Island Express is one of the most unique and charming Metroidvania games you'll ever play. Now, here's where things get fun. Instead of running and jumping like in most adventure games, Yoku moves by rolling his ball around the island. You use flippers, bumpers, and ramps, just like in a pinball machine, to explore, solve puzzles, and even fight bosses. It sounds weird, but it actually works amazingly well. Each area feels like a mini pinball table, with clever designs and unique challenges. Some boss fights even make you juggle multiple balls at once, testing both your timing and luck. Sure, sometimes the physics can get frustrating, but it's all part of the fun. Gato Roboto is a Metroidvania game that takes the classic Metroidvania formula and makes it playful, charming, and full of personality. The world of Gato Roboto is a big part of what makes it stand out. It's all done in black and white pixel art, but it's surprisingly detailed and full of atmosphere. The underground bases, dark tunnels, and strange machines feel alive. Furthermore, you'll run into quirky enemies, like rocket-firing robots, spinning drones, and even frogs that can kill you, all brought to life with that retro charm. And in between all the action, there are quiet moments that make the world feel real, like discovering a hidden room or a piece of story from someone long gone. Xeodrifter is super simple. You play as a space traveler whose ship breaks down and you need to explore nearby planets to find parts and fix it. No complicated plot, just jump right into the action. There are 4 planets to explore, each filled with hidden items, secret passages, and upgrades. The game follows that classic Metroid formula. You unlock new abilities that let you access new areas, things like a submarine, a rocket jump, or even the power to phase through walls. Now, the game is short, you can finish it in just a few hours, but the main downside is that it doesn't change things up much. Developed by WayForward, the same team known for their retro-style hits, The Mummy Demastered is based on the Tom Cruise Mummy movie, but don't worry, it barely has anything to do with it, and that's actually a good thing. Instead of following the film, The Mummy Demastered does its own thing, and turns out to be a really solid 2D Metroidvania. Here's the most interesting part of the game. When you die, your character turns into a zombie. You then play as a new agent, and to get your stuff back, you have to hunt down and kill your old undead self. It's a cool idea that adds tension, though it can get pretty annoying during tough boss fights. On average, the game's main story takes about 5 hours to complete, so yes, you can finish it in one day. Carrion is not your typical horror game. Instead of running from the monster, you are the monster. You play as a terrifying mass of teeth and tentacles trying to escape from an underground lab. There's no tragic backstory, no moral message, just pure chaos and carnage. For about 5 hours, it's all about tearing through rooms, devouring scientists, and watching the walls turn red. The movement feels amazing, smooth, fast, and unsettling. You can crawl through vents, smash through doors, and grab enemies with your tentacles before ripping them apart. It's brutal, but that's the point. Carrion lets you be the creature humans fear in horror movies. Developed by Team Ladybug, Touhou Luna Nights takes Touhou's world and mixes it with the Metroidvania formula, and it works surprisingly well. You play as Sakuya Izayoi, a time-controlling maid trapped inside a mysterious world created by her master. With her powers weakened, Sakuya must explore this strange place, battle bosses, and recover her strength to escape. The story isn't the main focus here, it's more of a setup for the action and exploration that follow. Touhou Luna Nights takes about 5 to 7 hours to beat, but there's plenty of replay value with extra modes and challenges. Despite a few balance issues, it's a top-tier indie Metroidvania, stylish, fast, and packed with creativity. Haiku the Robot is a hidden gem. It's relaxing, fun to explore, and packed with personality. The game starts with Haiku, a little robot waking up in a post-apocalyptic world where humans are long gone and machines are slowly falling apart. The story is simple and quiet, but the world tells you everything you need to know through exploration. The art style is gorgeous, colorful pixel art that feels like a modern version of Game Boy Color visuals. It's cheerful on the surface, but there's a darker tone underneath as you learn what really happened to the world. The main story takes around 7 hours to finish. If you like exploring and doing some extra content, it'll take about 9 hours. Islets is a charming Metroidvania made by solo developer Kyle Thompson. It may look cute, but underneath that soft art style is a game clearly inspired by Hollow Knight. The game takes place in a magical world of floating islands, separated long ago after a great disaster. Each island feels unique, with different enemies, secrets, and challenges. The best part is the world slowly connects as you reactivate the magnets, turning once separate areas into one big, interconnected map. It's super satisfying to see everything come together as you progress. On average, Islets' main story will take you around 7 hours. If you like exploring and doing a few extra side quests, expect about 8 hours. Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight from Bomb Service is the 4th game in the Momodora series. The game looks stunning, with beautiful pixel art and moody colors that give off a haunting yet elegant atmosphere. But don't let the visuals fool you. Momodora is tough. You'll need to master dodging, jumping, and timing your attacks, especially during boss fights. However, the game is a short but sweet adventure. You can finish the main story in about 4 hours or around 6 if you like to explore and find hidden secrets. But if you're aiming for 100% completion, expect to spend close to 10 hours uncovering everything the game has to offer. Record of Lodoss War Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth is based on Record of Lodoss War, a classic Japanese fantasy series that actually started as a D&D campaign. You don't need to know much about it to enjoy the game, though. Basically, you play as Deedlit, an elf who wakes up in a mysterious labyrinth and starts exploring to figure out what's going on. The pixel art looks fantastic, especially Deedlit's animations. The bosses are detailed, and the whole game has that 90s fantasy anime feel. If you stick to the main story, the game takes around 6 hours to finish, but if you're the type who likes to explore everything and go for 100% completion, expect to spend about 9 hours in total. That's all for today's list. Subscribe and like for more new exciting Metroidvania games. That's it, and see you next time.